All right. Welcome, welcome. All right, so let's begin on our backs. So come on down onto your back. Take a moment with the knees bent and the feet on the floor to adjust your pelvis. All right, so a neutral pelvis. Your low back, might have a little bit more of a curve in it, depending on what you've done today. So we're gonna actually start there. So come to what you think is your neutral spine and walk your shoulder blades away from the ears and set them on the back body where they belong. And just for a moment, just let the back drop into the floor. So just surrender your body here for a few breath cycles. And as you are letting go, check those natural curves of the spine. Right? There's the low back curve, middle back curve, and the neck curve. Right? Sometimes we have to adjust a little bit more after we relax. If your chin is drawing itself up towards the ceiling and the back of your neck is shortening and arching too much, you can take your hands behind your head, lift your head up a little bit, lengthen through the back of the neck, and then drop back down, trying to be in the middle of the back of the head. And sometimes we have to do that a few times so that the cervical spine goes to more of a neutral curve. So let's get into the low back because we have a lot happening in that region, right? So right now, we're going to take a nice deep breath in through the nose. On the exhale, contract your abdominals and your obliques as you gently press the curve of the low back into your mat without engaging your glutes or lifting any part of the hips up. And then release back to a neutral spine. So let's go again. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, contract your abs, wrap your obliques around and start to press your low back into the mat. Inhale to release it. Let's go 2 more times. Exhale, posterior pelvic tuck. So that normal space of the low back that isn't connected to the mat then meets the mat. It's like you have a tail that's going to come up between your inner thighs. And then we go back to neutral spine. So last one. Find your core. Find your powerhouse as you move through this as well. And release back to neutral spine. Very nice. So take a moment here and notice if that curve kind of dropped a little bit, and maybe it's a little less extreme of a curve because we've actually created some length in that low back. Right? We've lengthened the low back out. Let's bring our hands down by our hips. Walk again, the shoulders away from the ears. Check the spine. We're going to take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And then we're going to exhale, lift up into a curl, reaching the hands towards the bottom of the mat. And then we'll lower back down 1 vertebra at a time, coming to rest on the back of the head. Exhale, rise up 1 vertebra at a time. Lift as much of your back body off of your mat as you can as you reach towards the bottom of the mat. And then lower down 1 vertebra at a time. So we exhale to come up. Inhale to lower down. You're exhaling through pursed lips, that Pilates forced exhale. and you're inhaling through the nose. And our necks are happy, right? We keep the necks a little bit chin drawing towards chest at the top of that curl versus chin towards the ceiling, just like we did when we were stretching it out, so that we don't have strain in the neck as we lift and as we lower. Now, you can also support your head with your hands, especially if you're new. It might take a little bit of time to work up those neck muscles, right? We have to strengthen the neck, just like we strengthen everything else in the body. So if you feel like you're tiring your neck out, then you can use your hands to support the head. Let's do 2 more. And last one. Very nice. So the head can stay down this time. Walk your legs together so the inner thighs connect. And then bring your right knee above your hip. And bring your left knee above your hip. Connect the inner thighs here. Maintain a neutral spine by drawing your abdominals towards your spine, right? So don't lose your neutral spine here. Point your toes. Lower your toes as far away as you can, away from your body, maintaining the neutral spine, and then bring the knees back up over the hips. So inhale, lower down. Don't let that low back arch off the ground. Inhale, pull back. Don't let the knees pass the hips. So none of this is really fast, right? Really gonna work harder if you don't go fast, because you're really focusing on moving properly, not losing the integrity of the pose. So if you feel your back arch, you've gone too far, and you're going to actually work harder staying in your range because you're engaging more. If you go out of your range and your back arches, you've disengaged your abs, and you're just kind of creating a little bit of strain on your back. So really focus on what you're doing in tonight's practice by holding the poses properly and moving through them consciously. Really diving into the mind-body connection. You will work harder, obviously, if you do it right. And fast isn't always right. 2 more. And then last one. We'll keep the knees up, and then we'll hug the knees in. When you hug in, you can allow that low back pelvis to lift a little bit. If it bothers your knees, then you go behind your shins where those hamstrings are. You can rock it out if you'd like. All right, place your left foot down. Take your right leg up. Grab somewhere around the hamstring or around the calf and flex your foot to stretch the back of this leg here. So push the heel up and pull the toes and the top of the foot toward your shin. And again, there's no bend in the knee, so make sure not to hug behind the knee. That's going to want the knee to bend, right? So without using your arms to assist here, curl up, reach your head towards your knee. So you should feel this in your abs, not using your arms, right? Hands are still there, but you're not pulling the leg. Lift as much of your back body off of the front floor as you can. You should be kind of resting on your mid back. It's safe for the low back to be arching like this because the left knee is bent. Lower down. Release that leg. Take the other leg up. Stretch first. Find the calf, maybe all the way up into that hamstring, by having flexion of the foot. Spread the toes, open the sole, the foot. And again, you could stay down or you could rise up, curling up, lifting as much of your back body off as you can. Keep that foot on, keep pushing through the heel, shoulders away from the ears. Again, no hands to use here. All right, wonderful. Lower down, release that leg. So when the legs come down, align your heels, the center of your heel, align it under your knee and have your toes facing straight ahead. We're going to move into bridge. So once your hips are lifted, do not turn your head right or left. Keep looking at the ceiling. Hands come down by the hips. All right. Push your feet down, push your arms down, lift your hips up. Come to the tips of your shoulder blades. You're at the base of the shoulder blade, no higher. Scoop your abs by drawing your front low ribs towards your back low ribs. Stay here. So keep scooping the abs. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze your quadriceps. Now, you can stay here or you're going to lift your right foot off the floor very minimally. Like if I walked in the room, I wouldn't even be able to tell that your right foot was off the floor. So it's hovering. It's hovering. Or both feet stay down. Release the right foot. And if you lifted the right, lift your left. Again, you could barely tell that that leg is off the floor. Hips are at the same height. Release that foot. Lower back down. All right. Going back up. Lift your hips. From the tips of the shoulder blades. Find the scooping of the abs. Now, you can stay with both feet down. You could play around with lifting one foot and then the other. Or if you're going to advance it with me, right now your femur bone, your upper leg bone is parallel, right? When we lift the right foot off the ground, we're going to straighten the leg, but we're going to keep the femur bones parallel. Right leg across from left leg. Right hip across from left hip, right knee across from left knee. Hold it here. Release. And then switch to the left leg. Or again, you're hovering. Or you're holding the bridge with both feet down. Release your foot. Drop your hips down. Take a rest. So you see where I'm going. I'm making some progressions here that you're not required to take. I need you to honor your body and not lose the integrity of the pose. We're going to move forward, so you have choices. You have all those choices that we've already done, or you can move forward with me. So when you're ready, come up. Stay both feet down. Hover one foot or extend the right leg out. And then you're going to pull the right leg towards your face and lower it back down to knee height. Pull up and lower down. Find your breath. Last one. Release that leg. Left leg extends out. Exhale, pull towards you and release. Four more. Last one. Release that leg. And then release yourselves down. Hug the knees into the chest. If you'd like to rock side to side, rock it out, side to side. Awesome job. All right, so moving out of bridging. I think we're good there for a little bit. Let's bring our knees over our hips and we'll bring our arms overhead. All right, we're gonna curl up with the upper body. Stay curled up. Lower the toes towards the floor. Remember, neutral spine, don't lose it. Bring the legs back up. Lower the upper body down. Lift the upper body up. Lower the lower body down. Bring it up and down. So we break it down. Upper body moves, and then the lower body moves. Breaking ourselves in half. Neutral spine, the spine never arches when you lower those legs away from you. We went over that already this evening, right? So you just don't lower the legs as far away from you if your back starts to arch. When you're lifted, reach the arms towards the bottom of the mat. You could also support your head if you needed to. Stabilization is key. Shoulders away from the ears. Chin towards the chest. Let's do one more. Arms can go overhead. Place the feet down and then reach your legs. So let's go spinal elongation on the right side. Let the left side of your body be at rest and reach your left arm and left leg away from each other. Open up that space between the ribs and the hip on the side body. And then release the side and go to the left. Reach the left arm and left leg. Create length. And release. Good, now let's reach both arms and both legs. And then push down. Push your arms down, push your legs down, push your back body down into the floor. Almost feels like a plank. Push down and reach away from each other. And then soften. Lower your arms, adjust your shoulders. Bend your knees. Adjust your pelvis. Extend your right arm up to a high diagonal. Release your low arm down to a low diagonal. So you have this long path of movement here with the arms because you're at diagonals. So extend your left leg out. Your left leg is going to be your moving leg. Your right leg is your stabilizing leg. So we can extend the right leg for more challenge, or you can keep the right knee bent. So if your back starts to arch, you're going to rebend this right leg. So we can start with both legs out, or you can already know yourself and know you're going to keep that right knee bent. All right, point your left toes. Your right leg is your stabilizer again. Exhale, lift the left leg up, curl up, reach to the outside of that ankle with the right leg. And when you lower down, keep that left foot 1 inch off the ground. So left leg comes up, reach the right hand to the outside of the left leg. Lower down. Right knee, again, you could bend it and have the foot on the floor if you feel like it's too much on your back to have both legs straight. Exhale up, cross over. This is obliques. Reach long through the left arm. Four more. And last one. Good. Bend both knees. Take your right arm down to a low diagonal, adjust the shoulder. Reach the left arm up to a high diagonal. Extend your right leg. Keep your left knee bent or extend your left leg. Left toes face the ceiling, right toes are pointing. We're going to switch sides with that right leg up, curl, reach the hand to the outside of the left or the right ankle and lower down. Right leg stays 1 inch off the ground as you lower. Reaching long through the arms. Rotating the upper body to find that oblique curl. Exhale to come up. Three more. And last one. Excellent. Bring your arms to T. Bend the knees. Bring the feet in. Open your feet up nice and wide and then drop your knees side to side. Make this whatever size works best for you. All right. So come back onto your back. We're gonna come up. You have two choices to find your way up. You can roll to your side and roll up, or you can grab down by your ankles and roll up. Place your feet down. We're gonna start tonight with legs open like a diamond. So you're on the outer edges of your feet and the soles of the feet are in contact. The knees have dropped open to the side, right? Sit up tall. Do your best to sit up tall. Sometimes I literally lift myself up off the ground, right? And then when I lower down, I try to sit more on the front edge of those sits bones. Sometimes it's hard if you don't have like a yoga block or something there though. So grab your fake beach ball. What a great day to be at the beach, right? It'd be nice. And we're going to exhale, pull the beach ball into our abdominals, push those front low ribs to the back ribs and around your back. Feel your abs here, just like we did when we were laying down. And then come back up. When we were laying down, we were just moving the lumbar spine. So really dive deeper into your abs here. Exhale, pull. Shoulders away from the ears. Contract your abs. Inhale, come back up, long spine. Exhale. Posterior pelvic tuck. Inhale. Two more. Try to keep the space where the collarbones are kind of open though. But let your head drop, you know, you're rounding. The head come down a little bit. Oh, and come back up. All right, now straighten your legs. Keep a slight bend in your knees if you feel your back pulling. Grab your beach ball. Pull the beach ball into your belly and start to roll down one vertebra at a time. Going as far as you feel you can until you're going to lose control, meaning you just can't hold it anymore. And then roll back up. Keep that beach ball in your belly. Round with the shoulders over the hips. And then stack yourselves back up. So exhale, pull the ball in. Roll down. One vertebra at a time. So you want that low back to meet the mat. Maybe you make it down to the shoulder blades or less. And then roll back up. Stacking the shoulders over the hips and then build your spine back up. So you got it, right? So you can keep doing this. We're going down partially. Or you can start to come down to a full roll. Roll all the way down. Hands stay down by your hips. And then you roll up. One vertebra at a time. You're rounded. It's going to be slow. You're rounded. And then stack your spine. So if you were not able to get back up, say you're like, oh, I'm going to try it. You did it, but you couldn't get back up. It's okay. Just go back to do that partial roll and then come up. Okay. So we'll do a few more on our own. And if you're doing it, whatever one you're doing, you really want each vertebra to move independently to get you down and to get you up. So if you're going fast, chances are you're not hitting each vertebra, right? It's an exhale to come up. Scoop the abs. We'll do one more. We're going to stay at the top. So when you come to the top, sit tall. All right, I'm going to turn. Open your legs. Again, this is where I lift myself off the ground, I adjust my sits bones, and then I come back down trying to sit at the front edge of those sits bones. You can also move your flesh like this, right? So toes are facing the ceiling. Really check, make sure your feet aren't rolling out, and make sure you're not rolling in. And then bring your hands in front of you. We're gonna hinge forward. Hinge forward means you're not rounding the back. It's a hinge on the hips. And then come back up to sit tall. Hinge forward again. Maybe you go a little further, maybe you don't. Don't force anything. So that you come out of neutral spine. Come back up. One more time, hinge forward again. And come back up. All right, we're gonna take saw. I have a hard time with saw just because of the space that I have. So hopefully you guys have more space than I do. So you don't whack your arm on a wall, right? But I can try it to demonstrate it properly for you. So the left hand goes towards the right foot, the right hand goes to the left foot. The hand that goes behind you, you'll spin and the thumb will face down and you'll take the arm back behind you. So that thumb, right arm, thumb spins and you reach the left arm. And then you come up and you go to the other side. So I don't want you to fight to keep the sits bones down, but I also don't want you to let as you're going to the left, don't let the right side fly off the ground and vice versa. It can come up a little bit. Don't like resist it, but don't encourage it to lift either. So rotation. Okay, let's do one more each side. Awesome. And then take your hands behind your knees when you're finished and bring the legs in. All right, let's come to hands and knees. All right, we're going to get those wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips, heels in alignment with the knees, and we're at tabletop. So there's no rounding in the back and there's no flexion in the back. I could balance a glass of water on your back. And obviously there's the normal curves of the spine inside, right? So abdominal contraction. Okay, take your right leg back, right toes are pointing. Hips are at the same height. Lift your right leg up, stay there. Now, if you lifted the leg too high, your back is gonna arch and the hip is gonna go higher than the other hip. So don't allow that to happen, okay? Lower the toes back down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Neck is in alignment, so you're looking down. Just like I said in the beginning of class, stabilization. Stay in your range of motion so the back doesn't arch. Push your hands down so you don't drop into the shoulders. Exhale to lift. Reach the leg long. Find some length. Last one. Release. Left leg goes back. Lift your left leg up and hold. So if you're having trouble balancing on your wrist or your wrist injuries, you can actually lay down on your belly and lower and lift your legs here, okay? So here we go. Lower down and lift up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Reach the leg long. Try not to compress into the shoulders. The abs on. Last one. Bring that leg in. So we'll take a little break for our wrists and we'll come down onto our forearms. Neck is in alignment with the spine. Draw your navel towards your spine to keep a neutral spine. So we're going to go back to that right leg. We're going to make sure we don't arch the back as we lift the leg. We're going to lift the leg up, squeeze the glute. Don't bend the knee. Look forward. Look at the thing here. So knees very bent here. Don't do this with the leg here. Keep it bent. And then lower down. Exhale up. So move from your hip joint, not your knee joint. Knee joint stays the same the whole time. Find your hamstrings, find your glutes. If you move faster these, slow it down. Find your range of motion. Find your breath. Find control. Three more. Release. Switch to the other side. Lift and lower. Keep your navel drawing in. Last two. Good. Inner thighs connect. Sit yourselves back. Take your hips back towards your heels. Bend your elbows. Bring your thumb and your index finger to meet. Drop your head down in the center between your thumb and your knees. Let the back round. Make sure the back of the neck is long here. Come onto your front body. Walk your legs back. Walk your arms forward. So elongate, lengthen. Bring your hands back by your shoulders. Roll the shoulders back. Contract your abs and your glutes and your quads. Lift your legs up. Lift your chest up. Roll the shoulders back and reach your hands behind you. Keep looking down, somewhat down to the floor so the neck is in alignment. Draw your inner thighs towards the ceiling. Reach the leg long so not to compress into the low back. Also dig deep into your abs so not to compress into the low back. Breathe. And release down. Stack your hands, rest your head on your hands, rock your hips, or just rest. Great. I'm going to give you an optional progression from that. Again, optional, right? So slide the elbows back, hands back. Contract your abs, squeeze your glutes and your quads, lift your legs, lift your upper body, roll the shoulders back. You can take your arms back where they were, or you can reach your arms forward. If you're forward, shoulders are away from the ears, keep the neck long. Stay with your breath. Stay with contracting muscles. Reach and lengthen without suffocating the neck. And release down. Very nice. Rest or rock your hips. And then we'll push back for child's pose. So sending the hips back, we want a rounding of the back. Elbows are bent, let the head rest between thumb and knees, thumbs and knees. Awesome. All right. Let's go ahead and shift our weight forward from here. So walk your hands forward. Take your wrists a little bit wider than your shoulders and bring your hips forward. Align your shoulders over your wrists. Come onto your forearms if you need to. Find the right place for your pelvis. Contract your abs, squeeze your glutes. This is a modified plank. Stay here or tuck your toes and lift your knees off the floor. Again, you could do this on your forearms. All those muscles we were contracting in the thoracic extension, contract here. Everything turns on. Everything stays in alignment. Connect deeply through the hands or through the forearms if you're on your forearms. Shoulders away from the ears. 10 seconds. You can always come out of a pose, remember, come out gracefully. And then you can release down. We'll make our way onto our backs back onto our backs. Or we can hug the knees into the chest. Rock it out. Okay, come back. Realign if needed. So just reminder, or if you're new, the lower you take your leg is your lever. I'm going to call the leg the lever. Right? The longer the lever, the harder, and the lower the lever, the harder. So if you go all the way to the floor and you feel like it's too hard, or your back is straining, or your back is arching, bring your leg closer to the ceiling, right? So the longer the lever, the harder. The lower the level, the harder. All right. Go ahead and extend your left leg out. Curl up. Stay curled up. Inhale, exhale, change your legs. So yeah, we're moving a little faster here, but we're not losing that stability. We're not going super fast. So navel to spine, front low ribs towards back ribs, shoulders away from the ears. Hands can kind of graze the thighs or the shins rather, but we're not pulling the leg in by any means. You could also support the head if you need to. But pull the abs in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Knees in, head down. Let's relax the head side to side here. You could also elongate or take whatever stretch you want to take. Okay, feet down. Hands up by your hips. Left leg is your stabilizer. I'm going to straighten the left leg out. But if you feel unstable, what are you going to do? You're going to rebend that left leg, right? Right leg goes up. Circle the right leg. Soccer ball size or smaller. Try not to rock on the hips. Use your abs. Good. Reverse the direction. And then bend that knee. Place the foot down. Bend the left leg. Keep the right knee bent or straighten the right leg out. Left leg goes up and circle. Try not to rock on the hips. Reverse. Release that leg down. Bend your right knee back in if it was out. Adjust your pelvis. Bring the knees in. Grab as low towards the ankles as you can. Okay, we're going to do double leg stretch. Double leg stretch is, what's the word? I guess it's advanced, right? It is advanced. So lower the legs to the floor, the harder. You could go back to single leg stretch. We're doing double leg stretch. You could always move back to single legs, okay? So exhale, curl up. Right, so as you're lifted here, you're lifting this up. Try to lift this tailbone up. You're trying to kind of balance on the middle of the back there. And we're going to extend the legs and reach the arms overhead. And then sweep the arms to the side, bring it back in. Extend. And bring it in. The lower the legs go, the harder it is. You can stay up higher. Or even play around with it. If you always go to the same place, see what happens. Single leg is another option. 2, 1. Good, head down. Feet down. Arms out to the side. Let's take a twist. So we'll bring the knees back into the chest and drop the knees to the right and let everything rest. So if the feet are in the air, let the feet come down. Let everything come down. If the knees drop away from the body, that's okay too. Some nice breaths here. Okay. Carry the knees from the right side over to the left and release the legs. Okay, come back. Place your feet down, realign, and adjust your spine. And then bring your knees into your chest. Open the knees up, bring your heels together, separate your toes, so little frog leg. Bring your thumbs up into your armpits. You're gonna have an optional curl, you don't have to curl. We'll just start by kicking the legs out to whatever angle works for us, for neutral spine, and then bring it in. Kick it out, heels together, toes apart, and bring it in. So if you want to curl up, as you bring the legs in, you can curl up. And as you kick the legs out, you can lower down. Adding the curl is optional. Neutral spine. Kind of press the heels together. That will help stabilize the legs. 4 more. And last one. Very nice. Keep your knees in your armpits. Separate your heels. Bring the soles of the feet to the ceiling. Knees are drawing into your armpits. You can hug around your hamstrings, or you can grab the outer edges of your feet. Draw the tailbone down here. So move your front pelvis away from your ribs by drawing that tailbone down. I like to rock side to side here. You're welcome to do that. Good. Bring the soles of the feet together. Interlace your fingers. Draw your outer knees away from you. Ooh. Draw your tailbone down. Keep your legs how they are. Release your hands. Bring the legs to the floor. Rock side to side. All right, release the rocking. Stay here with your legs unless you feel, if it feels like it's pulling too much, then close your legs up. If you're okay here, stay here. Arms are out to the side. Exhale, curl up. Reach your palms to touch each other in front of you and lower back down. Exhale up and inhale down. So you have this sweeping of the arms, a little bit of a range of motion, different range of motion for the arms. It's a good stretch for the hips, and you're not allowed to use your thighs to curl up here, right? You can't even really engage the thighs, so it's all rectus abdominis. Stabilize through the hips. Couple more. Okay, last one. All right, stay down. Take your hands to your outer thighs, bring the outer thighs together, and then take your final elongation, reaching those arms and legs away from each other. All right, then we will bend the knees, lower the arms. We're going to move into side lying options. So roll onto your side. All right, tonight we're going to come into our V. So bring your hips all the way to the back of your mat. Bring your feet all the way to the front of the mat, and then bring your elbow to the center of the mat. Rest your head on your lower arm, or bend the elbow and kickstand your hand to rest your head on. So then we're going to kickstand our feet into that external rotation, heels together, toes apart, doing the best you can there. Shoulders stacked, hips stacked. Bring this top leg up, pulse 2 times. Lower down, pulse 2 times. Up for 2. Down for 2. Find some length in this leg as you lift it and lower it. Play around with pointing and flexing of the foot. I'm like doing half one way and half the other. So we have 2 more. That was the last one. So leg extension, bend your knee, point your toe here, flex your foot up, point your toe, lower slowly, reaching the leg long. When the heels come together, you have the optional double leg lift. So inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. One more. All right, bottom leg stays kickstand. Top leg, turn the toes to face forward. So we're no longer in external rotation, but you've moved your femur bone. Little circles here. Soccer ball size or smaller. And then reverse it. I'm going to take this small range of motion and make it a little larger. So if you go too large, you'll notice the upper body doesn't hold its stability. So upper body doesn't move here. That was your last one. We're going to reverse the direction. Last one. Release that leg down. Come out of kickstand with the bottom leg. Bend your knees in. Come up onto your forearm. Adjust yourself So shoulders over elbow, and you're not compressing into the shoulder, so this leg is long, or this side body is long. Now you're on your side. I want you to lift your knees and roll onto the middle of your glutes. Roll onto the middle of your buttocks, right? Lift your feet up. Straighten your top leg, grab the top leg. Straighten your bottom leg, check your shoulder, and then start to lift and lower that bottom leg. If you're not on the center of your glute, you're gonna have a really hard time lifting this leg. So if you're not finding it, it just means you have to reposition and balance on your glute. 2, 1. All right, release, and then we'll switch to the other side. Hips back, feet forward. Pilates kickstand. Right. Okay, up for 2. Down for 2. Play around that point flex. Stay with your breath. Last one. All right, external rotation, Bethany, point the toes. Flex the foot up. Lower down. Optional double leg lift. Inhale up. Control that leg as you lower it down. Last one. Good. So come out of external rotation and go into small range of motion. Use your abs to control this leg. This is abdominals too. Abs are engaged the whole time to hold that spine long and control the leg movement. All right, reverse the direction. And then we'll go larger range of motion. Remember, upper body doesn't move. And this really dives into the abs to control the leg. Reverse the direction. Beautiful. Last one. Bring the legs down, come out of kickstand with the bottom leg, bend the knees. Come up onto your forearm. Start by lifting up, so no compressing into the shoulder, long side of the body here. Lift your knees, roll onto the middle glute. Lift your feet. Check, recheck shoulder. This is really important. You don't want to be here, right? Lift that top leg up. Bottom leg goes out to that high diagonal, lift and lower. Four more. And last one. Good, come on up. Take your second plank for me. So you have forearmed plank or palms, knees down or knees up. You could also be in a child's pose if needed at this hour. Right, last minute of the class. Find your breath. Use your breath. Dive into all the muscles from head to toe. Ten seconds. Neck in alignment, spine in alignment. We'll release down. Let's take our final child's pose. Bend the elbows, drop the head. Let the back round. We'll bring ourselves up to hands and knees. Step one foot forward and the other. Keep that nice big bend in the knees as you fold forward. Grab those elbows, let your spine decompress here. Gravity is in our favor. Let that head go. And bring your hands to your thighs. Drop your hips, lift your chest. Come into this here squat. So we're not rolling through the spine, we're in the squat. And then from here, we're gonna inhale up as we push the feet down. Exhale, come back to squat. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Bring your hands down through heart center. There it is, and give yourselves a round of applause. Great job, you guys. Glad you were able to attend class. Any questions, let me know.